Hello, my name is Basi Antia, and I'd like us to talk about reading and annotation. Have you ever wondered about some of the things we do while we are reading? There are at least 3 such things. We may be finding meaning, making meaning, or evaluating meaning. We know we are finding meaning when we have reactions such as the following. What's the gist? I'm so confused. I need to get this. What is being said in this paragraph? We know we are making meaning when we ask questions such as, how do I interpret this? What does this remind me of? What can I do with this knowledge? How do we know we are evaluating meaning? When we ask questions such as, is this fact or opinion? Does this apply to my contexts? What strategy is this writer using to persuade me? Given what we have seen so far, we can therefore speak of 3 levels of reading: a surface level, a deep level, and a critical level. In finding meaning, we are reading at a surface level. In making meaning, we are reading at a deep level. In evaluating meaning, we are reading at a critical level. Now, let's examine the role of annotation in reading. When you write or draw on the margins or in between the lines of a text, when you highlight or underline text, when you apply punctuation marks and so on, the result is annotation. You do all of those things because you want to find meaning, you want to make meaning, and or you want to evaluate meaning. There are several ways in which we may annotate. We may annotate by underlining, by doodling, by writing text which we alone can understand or which others can also understand, by highlighting using different colors, by drawing, by applying punctuation marks, and so on. There are also very many reasons why we annotate. So, what is it in text that we annotate? In other words, what's the target of annotation? It could be a word, a group of words, a sentence, a paragraph, and so on. What do we use annotations to do? Our annotations could serve to summarize, to clarify, to interpret, to make connections, to express our critical views, to express our emotions, and so on. What resources do we use to annotate? Of course, we could use the same language as the text is written in. We could use a different language, or we could in fact use a mixture of languages. In addition, we could also use drawings, asterisks, punctuation marks like question marks, exclamation marks. We could also use highlights, underlines, and so on. Where does the information we use in annotating come from? It could come from the text we are reading. It could come from other texts, including dictionaries or the internet. It could come from our personal experience, something we have experienced in our lives. It could come from a TV show that we have watched. It could come from a conference or a workshop we have attended, etc. There are many places on the page where annotations may be placed. The annotations may also be a link to an external audio or video file. Here are two exercises for you. In exercise 1, you are to match annotation to levels of reading as well as to the function of the annotations. So, to the left of the slide, you have sample annotations from number 1 to number 13. So these are examples of annotations that an individual reader has made. Now, to the right of the slide, you are to indicate what level of reading you think annotation 1 corresponds to. And you are then to state what function that annotation 1 is performing. Similarly, annotation, let's say number 4. What level of reading do you think annotation number 4 may suggest? And what function does annotation 4 seem to be playing? The second task is for you to review your own annotation of texts you have read. Analyze them to see at what levels you may have been reading.
Created using Powtoon.